Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, a subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. As I always say, it massively helps out the channel. It truly does. And with that being said, let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now our first story comes from a throwaway account. It's titled, "My boyfriend's gorgeous female friend has taken it upon herself to take care of him tonight. He's male 25, sick. Am I, female 25, being a jealous bitch? I'm here because I need some unbiased opinions. My boyfriend of 10 months has a female friend that I do not like very much. I personally feel that she has romantic feelings for him, though I'm not sure about his feelings towards her. They became fast friends shortly after him and I started dating. So this is a fairly new friendship for the two of them. They are both fitness fanatics, so they tend to work out together quite often and do fun outdoorsy things together. Plus they keep in constant contact through texting, Facebook and Twitter. He introduced me to her a few months ago in a group setting, but we didn't hit it off. She was fake nice to me and had very little to do with me. I didn't say anything to my boyfriend because I know it's awkward when you first meet people and figured she was just shy. I wanted to give her a chance. So tonight, my boyfriend's got a migraine and a stomachache. He might be coming down with the flu. Guess who decided she wanted to take care of him tonight? His female friend. I asked my boyfriend what she was doing and he just said she was hanging out with him and making him soup. Apparently, she bought him a little care package as well. The fuck? Okay, I'm not trying to be a bitch, but that's my job. I'm the girlfriend. I get off work in an hour and I'm seriously thinking of going over to his place. I think I've probably put off this conversation for far too long, and now she's crossing boundaries. My boyfriend thinks she's awesome and a fun friend, but come on. Even if it's a platonic friendship, there comes a point where she needs to back off a little. Should I go to his house after work? What are your thoughts? I've definitely heard of people and know people who want to care for others when they're sick, look after their friends and take them round, little care packages like that. I've seen it a few times. And there's a chance this is just a platonic relationship, so I don't think going nuclear in the situation would be the right way to go about it, but obviously expressing your discomfort with the current situation and how you feel about it is the right way to go about it, because otherwise you're just going to grow in resentment about their relationship. And maybe it's just a boundary issue and they need to be established in your relationship and how you're feeling, etc. I had a friend who I used to work with many years ago who was in one of these situations, had a female best friend, had a girlfriend as well. She was uncomfortable and used to tell me about this. And his best friend worked with her, so she would talk to us as well. But with him, he'd be sitting having his lunch break and we're sort of like on bench seats, and she would come across and she would lay on the bench and put her head on his lap. And, we made eye contact at the time and you could see like he felt awkward with it and didn't know what to do. He felt like, he didn't want to damage his friendship by saying, no, you can't do that, whatever, my girlfriend wouldn't like it. Eventually he did. It took a while, but eventually it came out of him. And she did understand in the end, she stepped back and said, yeah, and I'm not quoting this verbatim because I don't know, but she said something along the lines of, yeah, it doesn't look good for your relationship. And apparently it was really amicable between them and their friendship was even stronger afterwards, which was a great thing. I mean, I'm not totally sure what's going on in this particular story, but you never know. But old Silly B says you should definitely have a conversation with him about this soon. Maybe not while he's sick. That wouldn't be too productive. I wouldn't encourage banging down the door and getting confrontational with him and his friend, but maybe say like you want to drop by and see how he's doing. A deleted user says call him and tell him that you're coming over after work and bring in supplies and you're ready to snuggle and watch Netflix and nurse your sick boo back to health. If he declines, you have a problem. If he seems excited, then there's nothing to worry about. And if he's excited about your care and girlfriend move, I think going over there with passive-aggressive jealousy rage is not a good idea either. Have this discussion when he's not sick, and to be fair, it sounds like she just came over to give him some soup, and if he's okay, I would do that for my friends too. Unless there is more to this story you're not telling us, maybe try to strike up a friendship with her as well, but keep your jealousy in check. She seemed fake nice. She could have felt awkward / your jealousy as well. Right now, you have not much of a leg to stand on with confronting him, especially if he's open with you about their friendship, hanging out and conversations. OP responded saying, I asked him a little bit ago if he wanted me to come over and he said, you don't have to. I know you've probably had a long day at work. I kind of feel that this was his way of nicely telling me no. Tamagotchi says, one thing I'll say, not really in defense of this girl, just a perspective. I've got a lot of really close guy friends. It's hard when they introduce a girl they're dating to me. If I don't pay enough attention to the new girl, it looks like I'm being a cold bitch. If I paid too much attention to her, it looks like I'm compensating for something. It usually takes a few goes of hanging out to get the balance of, hello, I'm a friend and that is all, and I'm happy that you two are happy together. Perhaps that was going on when you first met this girl. Maybe she just didn't know the correct approach to take with you. You said in post below that they already had plans to hang out, so it seems normal that she'd say, hey, you're sick and that's fine. I'll just call over and we can hang in your place. The fact that he's so open about them hanging out and their contact with one another doesn't send any alarm bells ringing for me. Also, someone else mentioned, do not confront him about this when he's sick. Go over there, look after him. If she wants to stay, let her. Don't read too much into anything for the moment. When he's feeling better, even if it's for a day or two, just say something like, I felt uncomfortable with X looking after you like that. I feel like that should be my job as your girlfriend. I feel like she overstepped a little bit and it would be great if you could be a little bit more aware of this for future situations. I know how much you enjoy her company and that's cool, but there are some things that should be just for girlfriends or something like that. Don't interrogate or accuse. Just let your feelings be known in a calm and clear way. If he's a reasonable guy, I'm sure he'll understand. And a lot of the comments went down that sort of line as well, trying to be understanding of the situation. A couple of people were saying, this is huge red flags as well. But OP then updated the post, which says, I apologize for leaving you guys hanging. Things got a little crazy last night and I kind of forgot about my original post. When I got off work, I went home and got some of my stuff together, since I was going to stay the night at his place. By the time I got to his house, it was around 11:30 and she was still there. When I got inside, I found both of them on the couch together, watching movies, but she was asleep. He was laying on the couch covered in blankets with his legs in her lap, which seemed a little inappropriate. Is that considered cuddling? My boyfriend seemed happy to see me. We talked a little bit and he gave me a long hug. His female friend woke up shortly after I arrived, but she didn't really say much. She mentioned to me that she made my boyfriend soup and that he really liked it. He was persistent that I try it because he said it was better than his mum's. I declined. Anyway, the house was spotless. It looked like she tidied up everything when she got done cooking because she did the dishes and some other stuff. That was nice of her, but I feel like that's overstepping boundaries. I saw a get well soon card on the kitchen table, which I'm assuming was from her since it was with some of the stuff she brought him, though I didn't read it. About an hour after I arrived, she was still hanging around because they wanted to finish their movie. So by the time the movie was over, it was almost 1:30. My boyfriend finally decided he was ready for bed, which she seemed bummed about. He thanked her for everything and walked her to the door. She gave him way too long of a hug and then finally left. A few minutes later, he sends her a thank you text. I was a mess. I wasn't going to say anything until the morning, but I couldn't wait any longer. Once we got into bed, I told him how I felt. Things didn't go well and I probably came across like a psycho girlfriend. I couldn't drop the issue. He said it was platonic and he felt I was trying to pick a fight with him, so he got up and decided to sleep on the couch, leaving me in bed alone. A half hour goes by and he comes back to bed in tears, apologizing for leaving me in bed alone. He was really upset and kept saying he loved me and that he was sorry for making me mad. I forgave him. He was shivering, so I took his temperature and sure enough, he was running a fever. I covered him in blankets, but that only seemed to help a little bit. He couldn't stop shivering, so he clung to me the rest of the night with his head buried into my chest. It was so cute. I felt so bad for him though. Poor guy. I don't plan on bringing her up again until he feels better. He was thrown up this morning and kept apologizing to me about last night. I told him we'd talk about it later and that I wasn't going to leave him as long as he'd compromise with me, which he agreed. He seems genuinely sorry and keeps promising me he'll fix things, so I think everything will work out. He's never broken a promise to me. Thank you everyone for the input. I can't believe how many commented on the original post. And I got to say, the comments were almost 50-50 down below. Some people were like, having the feet on the lap was totally inappropriate. And people were like, yeah, this is insane. And I'd be furious if, my boyfriend was doing that. Other people saying, it's absolutely ridiculous to be upset over this because they're not trying to hide anything, either one of them. And OP is just acting incredibly jealous. And, again, it's probably a boundary issue. And other people accusing the girl, she's trying to steal your man kind of thing. But I think it all comes down to, in the end, is boundary issues and what you are comfortable with. Obviously, I don't think we know the full situation, what's going on. Is it just jealousy? Is the girlfriend trying to steal him? Is it just all platonic? And in the first post, I was talking about, stepping back, talking about your boundaries, etc. And you can probably move on from this. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Sugar Barbie, who says, "Am I the arsehole for showing up the bride? I, 24 female, attended my boyfriend's 25 male, sister-in-law 27 female's wedding, his brother's wife's sister, and now no one is talking to him, his sister, or me. I just graduated college and am currently in the job market. I'm thankful enough that my boyfriend of almost 3 years offered to let me move in with him while I tried to make $13 an hour internship into a livable career. But that being said, I'm very strapped for cash. The money I do have goes to student loan payments and groceries while he takes care of the rest. I met his in-laws about 2 years ago at his brother's wedding and it seemed like we all hit it off. I guess for context, I should say they are all white and I am Indian. Had a year to save money for a new dress when we got the save the dates, but it seemed like such a waste of money. I was still a full-time student and the money I made went to all my bills. I decided to just wear one of my old lehenga, which is very, very simple. It's a pale blue with a gold design. I didn't wear bangles or a naff, just the outfit, a simple pair of hoop earrings and my heels. The ceremony was beautiful and my boyfriend and I were walking into the reception. At first I thought everyone was staring because brown person at old money New England wedding and all that. But then my boyfriend's mum comes up and asks what I'm wearing. She then says the bride is sobbing because people are talking about how pretty my dress is instead of hers and paying more attention to me. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. There was a black tie and everyone was dressed very nicely and the bride looked stunning. The only difference was I wasn't in Western wear. I asked what she wanted me to do and she asked if I had any other dresses. Other than more dressy lehengas or summer dresses, it was a no. I just offered to go home if she was that uncomfortable with me being there. My boyfriend's mum said that was a dramatic response and if I wanted to, I could. Anyways, my boyfriend wanted to leave because he didn't want to make a scene and honestly, I didn't feel comfortable being stared at. His family and in-laws aren't talking to us and the bride demands an apology. She apparently made a comment along the lines of, she works all the time and he pays all the bills, so I don't understand how she couldn't have just bought a new dress. His sister is the only one on my side saying they are being intolerant of my culture, and even if I was in an evening dress, people would have still talked about me. I feel awful and want to apologize, but my boyfriend said it wasn't my fault and the families are overreacting. I don't agree with him. It's a special day for the bride and maybe I should have asked to borrow a Western style dress from one of my friends. Should I have tried to blend into their culture more? I also don't want my boyfriend and his sister to lose their family over this. Am I the arsehole? And we're going to start off with Miss 1776 who says, not too long ago it was considered everyone sucks here on a post about someone in the military wearing his uniform to a wedding and not getting the bride's approval, even though it is considered formal wear and the dress code was formal wear. Personally, I think formal wear is formal wear. It doesn't matter what culture it's from and I wouldn't have a problem, but that's me. It's pretty obvious if you wear formal wear from a culture different than that of the wedding, you're going to stand out and get attention, good or bad. But that said, in accordance with the subreddit's moral views, because we wouldn't want to be hypocrites or show double standards, right guys? You should have asked the bride or had someone check with the bride if it would be okay to wear what you wore. Rohan0785 says, as an Indian, I would say you're the arsehole. because I know how lenga and choli look and how attractive it can be. I know your intentions were not wrong, because in Indian culture it's common to dress extremely attractive and go to a wedding and have photos with the bride and play games later in guessing the bride. But you had not gone to the Indian wedding, you had gone to a white wedding where it's believed that a wedding day means just a bride day, not even groom's day. And you did spoil her day by dressing differently, more attractive than her. Tracy Min says, not the arsehole. Speaking as a white middle-aged Northern Yankee woman, you did nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, you are commendable. You are smart, talented, thrifty and responsible. You have a caring nature and are empathetic. But apparently the bride and her family are not. It sounds like they are all about status and appearance, shallow and egocentric, demanding. By the way, kudos to your boyfriend for sticking up for you and having your back. He's a keeper, but his family, not so much. Professional ad says it's almost like some brides and their families just assume that the day is some kind of pageant or beauty contest. They're just spoiling for a fight, digging around for some offense they could take. You didn't do anything wrong at all. Plenty of people have indeed seen Indian clothes before. If they were puzzled, they could have asked you about it. My son was just an attendant to the bride, an old school friend at a huge Indian wedding where he wore, brocade shalwar kameez and looked very exotic indeed. Nobody batted an eye. Everybody danced. There was a great deal of happiness being passed around, and that's what weddings are for, not the arsehole. And don't get me started, we covered another story about an Indian wedding recently, and it just sounds like an amazing thing to be a part of. If you haven't yet, just Google Indian wedding party, whatever. It's the colors, the food, it just sounds great. Cluttered Shovel says, I agree with your boyfriend. You are not the arsehole. You didn't do anything intentionally and you immediately tried to solve the issue when you were made aware of it. And to be honest, there was no issue to begin with. You really didn't do anything wrong. But all that being said, if you want to apologize, you certainly can. That's up to you. If it makes you happy to be a peacemaker, that wouldn't make you an arsehole either. And one more comment from Wrangler Feisty, who says, no one's an arsehole here. I say this as a female of Indian descent who wears clothes like you do. 9 years ago when I was 21, I was invited to my white manager's wedding. This was the only white person's wedding that I've been to. I purposely chose not to wear any Indian clothes because I know how OTT they look to people from different cultures. My mother suggested I wear Indian clothes and I told her that I don't want to show up the bride. My younger sister was there and she agreed with me. It's not your fault because our clothes are naturally like that, but it's something you should be aware of going forward, especially if it wasn't cleared with the bride. If you had shown the bride and she had approved it, then it would have been different. It's a learning moment. Now, I turn it to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? There was some different comments going on there, that it should have been cleared with a bride beforehand. Other people saying absolutely not, you do you, and OP does sound very empathetic towards the whole situation. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much for getting involved. It's absolutely incredible. If you'd like to support the channel further, never expected but always appreciated, you can support the channel by clicking that join button down below for YouTube, going to patreon.com/MarkNarrations over there, or you can listen to the podcast and there's a membership on there, I think, on Acast, so you can skip ads and all that sort of stuff. But totally up to you. As I said, never expected. So thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Drink some water, brush my teeth, get out of bed and I stretch. Bet that my hair is a mess. Look through my clothes for a fit.